Good morning, Coneheads. It's Conehead Kevin here, and today we're gonna ride motorcycles. Gotta go. Good morning, Coneheads. January 31st, 2021, we decided to go for a little ride. And, if you're going to go for a ride and you have a destination, pick a destination and go there. But for us, it's more about the ride than the destination, and that's very lucky in this case because we decided to go to the 19th annual Gumbo Fest in North Fort Myers, Florida, at the Shell Factory. Um, I don't really have a lot to say about it. As a matter of fact, the video is just us traveling down, traveling back. Nothing special. I don't have any video of the event that I'll post because I don't know. We just didn't really have a good time with the event. Um, the venue itself was packed. There was a lot of people there, but we just came from Gibtown. Um, Within the last couple weeks, Gibtown Bike Fest, awesome time every year. I recommend if you're anywhere near Florida or in Florida, ride your bike over, enjoy Gibtown. Um, but this particular Gumbo Fest here, it's not really a motorcycle thing. A lot of motorcycles go there, including us. There's a lot of motorcycles in and out while we were there. But it's just generally a gumbo fest. But it was just the way that the venue was handled that we didn't like. Um, so there was all kinds of vendors there, and there was only a few vendors that like sold products that you could buy, like shirts or jewelry or something like that, and they would take cash. But the place was loaded with food vendors. Obviously, it's a gumbo fest. There was barbecue vendors there, as well as gumbo, jambalaya, all that stuff. Beer vendors, just all kinds of things that we didn't spend any money on while we were there. Now, the reason for that was the way it was managed. So, in order to buy any type of food or drink while you were there, you first had to go to a ticket booth and buy tickets, then use those tickets to buy that stuff. And we weren't about that. I just think that's the venue organizer, or the property managers or owners, being a little bit greedy, getting their hands in on things. If I was a vendor, I wouldn't put up with that kind of stuff. And I know that we didn't spend money there because of that, which is not common for us. We go to these things. We like to you know offer a little patronage to the vendors when we go to these things because we appreciate that these things happen. So we generally go out and spend quite a bit of money at these places. But in this one, we weren't going to do that. We weren't because first you'd have to go find out what you wanted, figure out how much it cost, then go buy that amount of tickets, then take those tickets back, and then get what you wanted. Um, as simple as that sounds, figure that you're waiting in line every time to do each one of those steps. We just weren't going to do that. We weren't going to wait in line and buy tickets and then wait in line again to use those tickets for food, and then it ruins any type of impulse buying you're going to have. Something I've never tried was those fried Oreos. They had those there. We talked about them, we laughed about them, and all of us joked that we weren't going to go wait in line for tickets to go try them. But if we could have just walked up and handed them a couple bucks and tried them, it's something we all would have tried while we were there. So that's just something I don't appreciate, especially after coming from such a great festival to something like this. So I really they do this every year. It was the 19th annual. Obviously, they're going to have a 20th annual when that comes around. And if somebody asked me, hey, do you want to go to the 20th annual Gumbo Fest next year? Or do you want to drive across the state and go get lunch at a Burger King? I would pick riding across the state on my motorcycle to go get lunch at a Burger King before I would go back to a venue like this. And that really says a lot about it. Now we had a great time because we went out and we rode, and the riding is the most important part for us. Some people, you know, they just point A to point B. I get that, and you do you. That's fine. But for us, we enjoy the ride most of all. And we went out there. So we got Rooster up front leading it. He's on a Police Edition Road King. We got Paul up front too, and he's on a Road King as well. Mark and Patty are on the Heritage Softail Cherry Bomb, and I'm on my wife's Sportster. I'm quite a big guy though, so I probably look like Grape Ape riding a tricycle. Um, Rolling in on this thing, but nevertheless, it needed some miles on it, so I was out on that because she rides it dozens of miles a year, so I figure probably get out there and blow some carbon out of the thing and take it for a little bit of a ride. It was a good time on the ride. We had a good time there and back. Again, it was just Highway 41, for where we live to getting getting there and back. Everything was right on one road, so it's just a busy road to ride on. I would rather go out and just ride some country trails rather than actually go to this venue, and that kind of says a lot. Um, so no, I don't recommend the venue, but I do recommend getting out, enjoying yourselves, having a good ride. And if you're a venue organizer, please don't set things up that way where people have to go to ticket booths and buy tickets to then go spend at your vendors. I get if it's a carnival and you're talking about going on rides or something like that, and that's completely understandable. But when you're doing it with food vendors, it just didn't make any sense to me. So we actually there was hundreds of dollars, I can tell you right now, left on the table just from our group not spent there that would have been spent there. And I know that for certain because I took quite a few bucks with me to spend there actually, and instead we went there, we hung out a little bit, watched things going on, checked out some bikes that came in and out, and then we took off. We didn't really spend any money. We watched a little bit of the show, and then we left and we went back into town. Um, you know, so we drive 25, 30 miles back to town, um, just to go spend the money that we had budgeted, and we went to an Irish pub called Paddy Wagons, and kind of ended video there. But we went there and hung out for a while. Everybody got a few rounds while we were there, and then we went and got food afterward. So all that money that we were going to spend down there, we wound up spending someplace else, just because of the way the venue was organized. So when it comes to the 20th annual next year, when that comes around, it's not something I could personally recommend. If you like that type of stuff, and you're fine with that type of stuff, go do it. You do you again. But I'm not waiting in line for tickets to then wait in line again to pick what I want and then not be able to impulse buy because none of the vendors take cash. Um, because of restrictions from the event organizer. It's just something that's not going to happen with me. If I was going on carnival rides or something like that, I'd understand it. But we were just trying to check out some food vendors and offer those vendors you know a little bit of business because it gave us a destination to ride to. Not that we needed one. We don't need an excuse to ride. We'll ride anyway. But it is nice to have a destination, and everybody knows that. And hell, for a lot of people, it's an excuse to get out and ride. Is having a destination. And a lot of people aren't like us. They enjoy the destination more than the ride, while we enjoy the ride more than the destination, and that's okay. But we head back into town. We have a few drinks and then call it a day from there. Again, it turned me off to that kind of event, the way that was handled. And next year, I know I won't be going to it. If somebody asks me to go to it, I'll try to talk them into um, driving up to St. Petersburg and going to Quaker Steak and Lube first, and having a meal there. I've never had a bad meal there, and that's right across from Burt's Barracuda up there, so I can go look at some Harleys and stuff while we're there. And it would be um, a better time to me because I still get the ride in, but then I can impulse buy anything I want, and I can go look at some new bikes. So just something like that, something simple like that would be better for me. So I recommend that if there's any venue happening that competes with this venue, doesn't matter where it is in the state, ride your motorcycle to that instead. You'll have a better time. Um, but again, you do you. It's just a little pet peeve of mine that I wasn't going to wait in line for tickets and stuff. Um, Overall, though, we did have a good time getting out there. You know, um, Obviously, I look like a monkey humping a helmet, with the bike I was riding, but it did need to get out and get ridden a little bit. We had talked about stopping and switching it out for my bike, but this one needed ridden, so we got out and we did that and blew off a little bit of steam, and then had a good time with some friends hanging out at the tavern later, and got some miles on the bikes. That's much needed and important to keep your skills sharp. Seat time is always helpful, and if you're going to be riding at any distances on weekends or whatever, that seat time adds up, and you mix that with a little bit of advanced training, and you can sharpen your skills on a motorcycle so that you can always pretty much relax out there and have a good time. Enjoy the weather. Obviously, people up north weren't enjoying the weekend as much as us because we can get out and we can ride motorcycles. So we can ride all year long here, and because of that, there's venue opportunities everywhere, all through the state of Florida, almost every month of the year, for you to get out and check out and go do. So I recommend most venues to people that we go to. Maybe not this one in particular, but there are other ones that you can manage to go see and have a good time at. We get back into town, and we still have plenty of time to kill because we took off and went out there, and planning to spend a day out at a venue like this, and wound up only spending part of the time we planned to there, and didn't spend really any money there. And so we come back into town and spend it locally anyway, and which heck, good for the local business, the that we could patronize them instead. And then if you really want to enjoy a ride somewhere, um, or you want us to post videos of rides and venues, let us know where some of them are. Tell us what venues you like. Let us know. Like and subscribe. Doing so gets you an opportunity to get some free motorcycle gear. Some of our subscribers are going to be chosen to get free gear, so we will always be offering that at different levels. Um, if you want to get into some advanced motorcycle training, please let us know. We're happy to do that. We often do those on Mondays. Sometimes we do them on Saturdays as well, but a lot of times we're doing basic stuff on the Saturdays for new riders. But if you want to get into advanced skills where you can really tilt and turn your motorcycle in very limited spaces, check us out and give us a call, and we can help you out with that. Even if we can't make you ride like a police officer in the first time you come see us, if you keep coming back, we can. Now, good day, everybody. Get out there, keep crushing cones.